The Invisible Revolution: How Black Women Entrepreneurs Are Redefining Business in America. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm truly honored to stand before you to share groundbreaking insights from my recent interview with Alonya Smith, a visionary researcher whose work is fundamentally reshaping our understanding of entrepreneurship in America. Alanya isn't just documenting statistics, she's capturing the heartbeat of a movement that has been hiding in plain sight. Through her meticulous research and deeply human approach, she has illuminated patterns that challenge everything we thought we knew about business, success, and power in America. Her work doesn't just inform, it transforms. It doesn't just educate, it liberates. And today, I get to share some of her most powerful discoveries with you. What I'm about to share isn't just data or statistics, it's evidence of a revolution happening right under our noses, one that's being led by Black women entrepreneurs across America. A revolution that's redefining what success looks like, what power feels like, and what business can be. A revolution that has been systematically ignored by mainstream business media, overlooked by investors, and underestimated by the market. Let me start with something that might shock you. Black women are currently the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in the United States. Let that sink in for a moment. In a business landscape that has historically excluded, underestimated, and underfunded women of color, Black women are creating businesses at an unprecedented rate. They are not waiting for permission. They are not waiting for perfect conditions. They are not waiting for systems to change. They are becoming the change. During my conversation with Alanya, she shared a statistic that stopped me in my tracks. Women of color make up just 39% of the female population in America, yet they account for a staggering 89% of new women owned businesses created every single day. Every single day. This isn't just impressive, it's revolutionary. But here's where the story gets complicated and where we need to pay close attention. Despite this explosive growth, Black women entrepreneurs face barriers that are both systemic and severe. According to Alonia's research, while Black women make up 28% of Black entrepreneurs, only 15% report making a profit. The gap between starting a business and sustaining one profitably reveals a troubling pattern that we cannot ignore. Think about that disparity for a moment. The very demographic showing the most entrepreneurial initiative is the same one facing the steepest climb to profitability. This isn't coincidence, it's consequence. Consequence of systems that weren't built with Black women in mind. The funding landscape tells an even more sobering story. Among the $1.9 trillion generated by female owned companies, businesses owned by women of color account for just $422.5 million. That's not just a gap, it's a chasm. It's not just inequality, it's economic violence. Alanya explained that women led businesses receive only 7% of global venture capital. And in low and middle income countries, they are 30% less likely to secure funding than their male counterparts. Even when women entrepreneurs do secure funding, they often face smaller loans with higher interest rates. The numbers from 2023 are particularly telling. While women led businesses secured 55% of total investment raised in one portfolio Alanya studied, the median amount they received was just $105,000, significantly lower than the $204,000 median for all businesses. When I asked Alonya what this meant, she said something profound. This isn't just about money. It's about who we believe deserves to be funded. It's about whose visions we value. It's about whose futures we're willing to invest in. But here's what fascinates me about what Alonya discovered. Despite these obstacles, or perhaps because of them, Black women entrepreneurs are pioneering a different approach to business. They're not just participating in the existing system, they're creating an alternative one. They're redefining what success looks like. In traditional business narratives, success is often measured in rapid scaling, aggressive growth, and maximizing shareholder value at all costs. But the entrepreneurs Alonya interviewed are measuring success differently. They're building businesses that prioritize community impact, sustainable growth, and holistic well being, not just profit margins. This isn't just a nice story about resilience, it's a fundamental shift in business philosophy that has profound implications for our economy, our communities, and our future. It's a direct challenge to the extractive, exploitative business models that have dominated our economy for too long. Alanya shared with me the story of Jayla, a Black woman entrepreneur in Chicago who turned down venture capital funding because the investors wanted her to scale faster than she believed was sustainable for her community based business. Instead, she opted for slower growth, funded through community investment vehicles that allowed her to maintain her vision and values. 3 years later, her business is thriving, employing local residents, and generating sustainable profits. I wasn't interested in growing at all costs, Jayla told Alanya. I was interested in growing in a way that lifted my community with me. What good is success if I'm the only one who makes it? This approach, prioritizing purpose alongside profit, community alongside capital, represents a profound challenge to business as usual, and it's not happening in isolation. The recent employment data that Alanya shared reveals concerning trends that make this entrepreneurial movement even more significant. As of April 2025, Black women lost 106,000 jobs, the most among all workers. The number of Black women employed is at a 5 month low, while the number of unemployed is at a 5 month high. In this context, entrepreneurship isn't just about pursuing a passion or seizing an opportunity. For many Black women, it's becoming an economic necessity, a response to systems that continue to marginalize and exclude. But necessity is breeding innovation. As Alonya eloquently put it during our interview, Black women aren't just building businesses, they're building lifeboats for communities that the mainstream economy has left behind. This brings me to what I believe is the most important insight from my conversation with Alonya. The challenges Black women entrepreneurs face aren't just their problem, they're symptoms of fundamental flaws in our economic system that affect everyone. And when we create barriers that prevent our most entrepreneurial citizens from building successful businesses, we all lose. We lose innovation, we lose job creation, we lose economic growth, we lose the unique perspectives that come from lived experience. The data is clear. Diverse businesses perform better. Companies with diverse leadership consistently outperform their less diverse counterparts. Yet we continue to underinvest in Black women entrepreneurs. This isn't just an issue of fairness, though it certainly is that. It's an issue of economic common sense. We are systematically underinvesting in one of our economy's greatest potential sources of growth, innovation, and job creation. But there's hope in this story. The very entrepreneurs who face the steepest barriers are pioneering new approaches to business that may hold the key to creating a more sustainable, equitable economy for everyone. Alonya shared with me the story of Keisha, a Black woman entrepreneur who created a tech platform that connects small urban farmers with local restaurants. When traditional investors showed little interest, she created her own funding mechanism, a community supported business model where customers could invest directly in her company's growth. Today, her business is not only profitable, but has created a blueprint for other entrepreneurs to follow. I realized that I didn't need to fit into their system. Keisha told Delanya, I needed to build my own. This isn't just inspiring, it's instructive. There are lessons here for all of us about resilience, about innovation, about what business can be when we expand our definition of success beyond quarterly profits. So, what do we do with this information? How do we support this entrepreneurial revolution? Alonya offered several pathways forward. First, we need to acknowledge the reality of the funding gap and address it directly. This means rethinking how we evaluate business potential, recognizing that our current metrics may contain implicit biases that disadvantage certain entrepreneurs. Second, we need to create funding mechanisms that align with different business models. Not every successful business needs to scale rapidly or exit through acquisition. Patient capital that supports sustainable growth can yield significant returns, financial and otherwise. Third, we need to recognize and value the innovation happening at the margins. The business models being pioneered by Black women, entrepreneurs, models that prioritize community impact alongside profit, may hold the key to addressing some of our most pressing economic challenges. And finally, we need to listen to and learn from these entrepreneurs. Their experiences navigating systems not designed for them have generated insights and approaches that can benefit all businesses. As Alonya powerfully stated during our interview, the future of business isn't just about technology or globalization. It's about who gets to participate, whose values shape the marketplace, and how we define success. Black women entrepreneurs aren't just claiming their seat at the table, they're building a new table entirely. This is the revolution happening right before our eyes. A revolution not just in who creates businesses, but in what business can be. A revolution that challenges us to expand our definition of success beyond profit to include purpose, impact, and sustainability. The entrepreneurs Alonya introduced me to aren't just building businesses, they're pioneering a new economic paradigm, one that recognizes that true prosperity isn't measured just in dollars, but in dignity, in opportunity, in community well being. So I leave you with this challenge. What would happen if we invested in Black women entrepreneurs at the same rate we invest in other demographics? What innovations might emerge? What problems might be solved? What wealth might be created? Not just financial wealth, but social wealth, community wealth, cultural wealth. The revolution being led by Black women entrepreneurs isn't just changing who gets to be an entrepreneur, it's changing what entrepreneurship can be. And that's a revolution we all have a stake in supporting. I challenge each of you to examine how you can be part of this transformation. Whether you're an investor, a consumer, a policymaker, or an entrepreneur yourself, ask yourself, how am I supporting or hindering this revolution? What biases might be limiting my vision of what business can be? What might I learn from those who have been forced to innovate at the margins? The future of our economy doesn't belong to those who cling to old models. It belongs to those brave enough to imagine and create new ones. And right now, Black women entrepreneurs are leading the way. The question is, will we have the wisdom to follow? Thank you.